So I recently had an issue with the Classic where the speedo and the odometer stopped working. It would click continuously while driving, and the needle would kind of move very approximately to the current speed, but it'd be like waving around even more so than normal, about plus or minus 20 miles an hour the actual speed, and the odometer was completely frozen. It wouldn't be turning at all. So after doing a little bit of research online, suggested that what happens is that the input from the speedo drive cable starts binding, and as a result stops turning the plastic gears inside the instrument binnacle. So apparently if you take it off and give it a bit of lubrication, that can sometimes solve the issue. So that's what I did, and it seems to have, for now at least, worked. So in order to do this, you need to take the instrument binnacle off. It is theoretically possible to get at the back by just taking the cowling off, but it's very difficult to actually get to the little angle gear input for the drive cable without releasing the binnacle from the dash. So in order to do that, you need to take this panel off, which just rests on there, and it's just held on by various screws, like up here, some more lower down in the footwell, and just drop that off. And then the dash binnacle itself is held on by these 4 bolts, so you can see the threads for 1 and 2 to the left there, and then there are 2 more slightly further in, which there's one, and then the other one is just hidden out side of the picture down the bottom there. So you release those four nuts on the end of those threads, and then you can take the binnacle off the dash. It should be loose. There's no real need to do any more disassembly on the dash binnacle itself. All you need to do is just take the back of the plastic off like this, which is just held on by 2 sort of little clips at the back, which you just can be pushed off, and then that can kind of come off like so. And then that reveals the binnacle. Now I'll just show you, if I go around the other side. This here is the angle gear for the speedo drive. Now that's the speedo cable that comes up from the transmission, and it's just a very simple threaded collar that holds it in place. So you want to undo that threaded collar, pull the drive cable out. It's just a little square drive on the end there. Now sometimes, I think up until 1988, they used this little angle drive on the back, and I think after 89 or so it doesn't have that. I think the cable just goes straight into the back, but this is an 87 car, so it has the little angle drive. Now it was suggested to me that sometimes it might be the angle drive itself that's broken, so I took the cable off, and also I just unscrewed the angle drive from the back of the binnacle. That's just those 2 little Phillips screws there. I was able to turn the angle drive by hand quite successfully. It didn't seem to have any binding or resistance in it, so it was turning normally, so I determined that wasn't the issue. So when you take off the angle drive though, you'll see another little square female connector to take the input shaft from the drive, and all I did was just take some 3-in-1 oil and just lubricate inside the connector. Put the dash binnacle back on the dash, drove a bit. It was still ticking a little bit, but the odometer was moving again, so I just basically drove it, disconnected it, lubricated it some more, drove it some more, so on and so forth. And after doing this 3 or 4 times, the clicking eventually just went away completely, and the speedo was working normally again.